Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video I'm here to basically announce my racing league, which is now fully underway. It will feature 3 different categories, those being the Mazda Roadster Cup, Mini Challenge and the Super Tourers, which are kind of like Group 4 cars running touring car liveries and very much kind of on the pace with modern day touring cars. This championship will take place every other Sunday at 7 PM, where I will go live. The following week I will then have full coverage of that kind of race meeting. It will be 6 events over a single season, and we will have points tables, championship winners and all that good stuff. So up first, let me tell you a little bit about our first championship and our slowest one. So all 16 drivers that are taking part in this are all kind of racing in all 3 categories. So hopefully as we kind of expand, I can get a few trusted people to sort of run their own meeting, and we can kind of have more than just 16 people running in the league. Hopefully we can expand this kind of after the first season's done and we kind of see what the interest is like. So let's get on to this, the Mazda Roadster, the Mazda Miata, the Mazda MX-5, whichever one you want to call it. These are very close to this stock variant, apart from the running race liveries and a roll cage to give them kind of one make cup race feel. These are only running racing hard tyres. There's a little change at the rear for the aero, so to get rid of the aerial they're running a bit of a different spoiler, and then they run obviously racing silencer on that. So performance wise they're not too different, they're pretty similar to the road going version. Obviously these are the lowest powers and they will start the weekend off. They'll have a 15-minute qualifying session followed by a either 10 to 20 lap race depending on the track layout. So this is just a single individual championship up for grabs for someone to win. Now hopefully we can get some teams going maybe in the future, but at current these are only individual runners, so all 16 people have a single title up for grabs. So in terms of the regulations, they are running Type A rear spoiler, so just this one here to get rid of the sort of aerial at the back and not give them too much downforce. They're obviously running racing hard tyres and obviously racing wheels. They're running a roll bar. Obviously the livery needs to pretty much be professional and look like a cup car essentially. So as you can see, there's not much to really change in terms of what aero it's running. In terms of performance, it's racing hard tyres and racing silencer. Next up, or kind of the mid-tier, is the Mini Challenge cars. Now these are pretty much fully tuned Mini Cooper S's from 2005, basically made to look like a very much kind of powerful one-make race series. So they're very light, although they kind of top out around about 195 brake horsepower. That lightness just allows them to be very nimble and lap around about 4 to 5 seconds a lap quicker than the Mazda Roadsters, but not quite up there with our main show, or should I say main event in terms of this championship. So again, these will be running all kind of regulated performance and power. In terms of aero, that will all be kind of regulated. This is to kind of keep them again in a close pack, so we don't have kind of one single person running away. These will all be balanced to performance just to keep the pack as possibly close as possible, and ensure that the racing is fun and decent. Now in terms of handling, these handle very, very well. Quite a bit of grip, and for a front wheel drive car it's rather surprising just how easy it is to throw these things about. Obviously there's going to be 16 people racing in this championship as well, so it'll be a single individual trophy. There will be no manufacturers or teams trophies. Again, just a single championship up for grabs in these rather quite fun and quirky front wheel drive machines. Like I said, mid tier, so a little bit more powerful than the Roadsters, not as powerful as the main event, which is the Super Tourers, but they kind of do give that nice step up feeling where they're quite a bit more powerful than the Roadsters, but not quite on the level of those sort of Group 4 Super Tourers going forward. So again, like I said, these will be kind of regulated, obviously running race liveries and such to kind of make them look as professional as possible. So hopefully the grid does look nice and kind of varied, and we can sort of spot different drivers. So in terms of aero, at the front they'll be running Type A, at the side they'll be running Standard, and the wing again will be Type A to give it that nice little rear racing spoiler. In terms of performance upgrades, there's quite a bit to cover with these ones. So it'll be weight reduction at stage 1 from the sports category, and then if we move on to club sports, we will be running weight reduction stage 2. And then if we move into semi-racing, it's fully customizable computer and weight reduction stage 3. And then from racing, it's racing intercooler, air filter, silencer, racing exhaust manifold, racing brake pads, racing brake kit, slotted discs, fully customizable suspension, racing clutch and flywheel, racing customizable transmission, and racing hard tyres. Now on to the main event. These are Super Tourers. These are Group 4 cars, tuned to look like essentially touring cars from the day. They're around about the same kind of power output as well, so I'm expecting, very kind of competitive lap times. These will be balanced of performance, so, hopefully we won't have sort of one manufacturer running away, which does sometimes happen if you have it off. So hopefully it should be, nice close pack racing, and there'll be different kind of events to run. So these will run 3 events. These will basically run a normal qualifying, and then they'll run sort of a standard race, and then we'll have another qualifying, a 1-lap quali, where the grid will then be reversed for the slowest driver to take part, or to take pole, and then we will have a pit stop race. So the car you've seen here is Team Mazda, and this championship is obviously full. So for this car, it will be myself and Jody running the Team Mazda Upton steel liveried machine, and it obviously will take part in the same rounds as the Minis and the Roadsters. So on to Team Renault now. They will be running the Group 4 Megane, obviously with a spec livery, so all these liveries are set for the teams. This makes them distinguishable, and there will be 2 of each of the cars, so essentially we will have a manufacturer's championship for this and an individual championship. So the point system, you will get points for fastest lap, you'll get 5 for that. You'll also get points for taking pole, so there'll be 5 points on offer for that, and then it kind of ranges down from 50, so even like last place and 16th will get a single point dependent on position. So obviously that's the point system, the kind of sort of weekend structure laid out, or race day structure, whatever you want to call it. Now the Renault that you're seeing on screen, this will be run by Froggin and Timo. So I'm expecting this car to be quite powerful at the likes of Brands Hatch, where round 1 will take place, and obviously some more of the kind of more front wheel drive suited tracks. So to get the livery for this is mainly for the drivers. You will essentially go into Showcase, tick the Megane Group 4 and type in BTCC. And the livery you're looking for here is just over to the right, and it's a CRT, by CRT29 or R Cavill, and you will go ahead and put that on. So that is just for the drivers only. Next up we have Team BMW running a full works BMW livery. Now this is probably going to be one of the kind of main cars that will be right up the top of the grid. No matter what, obviously balance performance may affect it a bit more at some races, but I'm expecting this to be a strong showing with a very decent and strong lineup of Jace and Andy running this one throughout the season. So yeah, I'm expecting this BMW to pretty much be right up there with 2 decent drivers. In terms of this car and how it handles, this is rear wheel drive obviously, so it will have a performance advantage in terms of taking itself off of the line. It is a little bit of a handful at times, which you've just seen there. However, I'm expecting in the hands of decent drivers, this car could essentially push for a overall championship and probably an individual drivers championship as well as we push on into the season. In terms of getting the livery for this one, it's the same again. You're just going to tick the M4 Group 4, type in BTCC, and it's this one here by Electrified or Electric Arm, and you're just going to go ahead and put that one on your BMW. Again, just to let you guys know, this is for drivers only. However, if we do need stand-ins, you will need to come back to this video and follow it if you do want to take part. Next up, we have Team Toyota. Now, this is going to be a bit of a dark horse in terms of the championship. The GT86, not a very popular machine. However, it's very much capable, especially on those sort of tighter, narrower tracks. With this car being so small and tiny, it can almost fit through anywhere. So I'm expecting this to make a lot of moves in the corners and really just throw it in there and hope for the best. Also quite good in terms of power. So this is the Toyota 86 running a Ginsters livery. If you know about Ginsters, it's essentially pastries from the United Kingdom. Again, another one of those liveries that was ran in BTCC. Not quite up to date, sadly, but again, still very kind of professional looking. So this will be Team Toyota for the season, and their drivers are, we're going to have Steve and we're going to have Archangel running the Toyota for this current season. So 6 rounds, and I'm expecting it to perform very well at the more tighter and kind of complicated tracks. So in terms of this livery, again, you're just going to get the 86 Group 4, type in BTCC, and again, it should pop up with a few options, and it's this one here by Mr. G 1976. So go ahead and put that one on. Next up is Team Honda, and this is probably the most extreme looking of the Super Tourers. This is obviously a Group 4 NSX, very kind of, reminiscent of those, I guess Super Tourers from back in the day, but with a modern, sleek look, running the obviously Team Dynamics Honda livery. So very smart looking car, very kind of powerful. Maybe not the best overall at the more smaller tracks. However, when this thing does get on the sort of straights and such, it's very, very quick. Again, very quick off the line, so the acceleration really is there. It's just more of a handful than a lot of the other cars. Kind of does seem to lose grip when going through the corners. However, as you can see from my test lap, I managed to feel right at home on board the NSX. So I'm expecting this to possibly be, fighting for a manufacturer's championship, or at least an individual drivers championship with one of their drivers. And this one will be fielded by the Binners here and Gray going forward for this season. Again, to get this livery, you just tick the NSX Group 4, type in BTCC, go into content search, and it's this one here by Turning Retro 81 or Clunker. So you go ahead and put that on the car, and that is the livery for the season. Next up, Team Genesis. Now this is a bit of an unexpected one, and in my opinion, it's probably the most smart looking car of the bunch. I really do absolutely love how the kind of colours pop, running the obviously Bristol Street Motors livery, originally run by Hyundai in the BTCC. Very, very good car actually overall for such a big kind of blocky car. This did actually turn out to be the fastest when balance and performance was off, running it around the test track of the Brands Hatch Indy. Now this will be fielded by both Vet Gaming and Empire, so I'm expecting this one to be right up there at the front from the get-go. I'm not expecting it to have really any weakness at any single track, and it's a big old car, so in terms of trying to get past it, it's going to be rather difficult. So I'm expecting this one to really be pushing for manufacturers championship overall, and possibly even getting both drivers up for the main championship. In terms of searching for this livery, it's the same again. You go ahead, you tick G70 Group 4, type in BTCC, and it's this one right here, Accelerate Hyundai BTCC by /91 or C Mali. Next up, we have Suzuki. They are running the Yazoo liveried Team Hard livery, should I say, from BTCC. Again, a car that's probably going to be quite overlooked. This was actually the last team to fill up. We had all the other teams full before the last two drivers got in, and only had Suzuki to choose from. However, I'm expecting this car to be very light, very nimble, and it is proven to be very quick at Brands Hatch, if you remember it from daily races and such. So I'm expecting this one to really sort of, come out of nowhere in some rounds, and maybe even challenge for the manufacturers championship. Maybe not so much as the likes of BMW and Genesis and such, but I am expecting this one to perform very, very well. This one will be driven by Vinny and Alexander, so going forward I'm really expecting good things from this team. Kind of sort of the dark horse and a bit of the underdog. So again, for searching for this livery, you're going to tick the Swift Sport Group 4, type in BTCC, go ahead and search your content, and it's this one here by Exorcist 13 or just Exorcist. Go ahead and put that on your car. And finally, probably one of the, I guess, standout cars of the bunch, and really kind of a car where I don't know where to place it. Obviously, it's four-wheel drive, it's very good on its handling, very kind of overpowered at most tracks. So this is Team Subaru running the Adrian Flux livery for, BTCC a few years ago. I'm expecting very good things from this, and it could possibly be sort of a runaway season for this team. Hopefully not. Hopefully, balance and performance does kind of equal all the cars out, and we have some nice close racing with many different winners. I am 100% expecting this thing to be massively up there in terms of both manufacturers and individual championships. It does take a bit more getting used to than the other cars, because you don't expect the grip this thing has. And yeah, I am genuinely expecting this thing to be very, very powerful. This one will be driven by Off-World Atom and Largent for this season going forward. So we'll expect to see Subaru on the grid. In terms of selecting this livery, again, you just go ahead and tick WRX Group 4, type in BTCC, and then it's this livery here. It's Subaru BTCC 2019 by R. Cavill or CRT 29 yet again. So that's going to be it for today's video. It's just all about really announcing my league and just kind of, showing you what to expect. So I am expecting some close racing. Hopefully we can sort of expand it out, in the future. Obviously, if this season is successful, I'll be keeping an eye on it, seeing what the numbers are like during the live stream, seeing what the numbers are like when the content goes up. Hopefully we can get some decent edits going, points table, all that stuff, get some good highlights, full race coverage, all that good stuff. And hopefully it'll just be entertaining, for you guys to see, a championship ongoing, in terms of, custom races and such within Gran Turismo 7. So if you do want to sign up or you want to be a stand-in, please just let me know by contacting me on Twitter or my business email, and then we can sort of get you registered as a stand-in for the teams in case any drivers drop out or anything. And I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers, guys. Peace.